Robert Kiyosaki claims to teach you how to get rich, but is he really following his own advice? Or is he just selling a dream? Let's uncover the truth behind the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki's name is synonymous with financial independence. His bestseller, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, sold millions worldwide, making him a household name. But while his books inspire millions to think differently about money, Kiyosaki's business history and controversial practices raise eyebrows. From failed companies to misleading claims, today we're peeling back the layers to determine, is Robert Kiyosaki a financial genius or just a savvy marketer selling a pipe dream? Born in Hawaii in 1947, Kiyosaki grew up in a middle-class household. His father, Ralph Kiyosaki, whom Robert famously referred to as his poor dad, was a highly educated teacher, but often struggled with money. This contrasts with the supposed rich dad, a wealthy entrepreneur who taught Robert about financial independence and investing. This narrative formed the foundation of his most famous work, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. However, investigations reveal that this rich dad may never have existed, leading many to question whether the book is more fiction than autobiography. Before becoming a self-help guru, Kiyosaki dabbled in various businesses. In the 1970s, he launched Rippers, a company that produced Velcro wallets. Despite initial success, the company failed due to increasing competition and poor patenting strategies. Subsequent ventures, including clothing lines and real estate investments, also ended in financial ruin. Kiyosaki's early failures, though significant, set the stage for his later success. He learned to pivot, repackage his experiences, and market his ideas, a skill that would later define his career. In 1997, Kiyosaki self-published Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a book blending personal anecdotes and unconventional financial advice. The book quickly gained traction, thanks to its relatable storytelling and bold messages, such as "Schools keep you poor" and "The rich don't work for money." However, critics argue the book oversimplifies complex financial concepts, offering generalities rather than actionable strategies. Kiyosaki's partnership with Amway, a multi-level marketing company, played a significant role in the book's success. Amway distributors promoted the book extensively during their recruitment pitches, helping it reach a vast audience. This strategy transformed Rich Dad, Poor Dad into a global phenomenon, selling over 41 million copies. Despite its success, many question the book's legitimacy. Is it a genuine financial guide or a cleverly marketed piece of motivational fiction designed to sell seminars and upsell courses? We'll explore that next. Kiyosaki's business empire extends far beyond books. The Rich Dad brand includes workshops, games, and high-priced seminars. While these offerings promise to teach financial independence, they've drawn heavy criticism for aggressive upselling tactics and questionable advice. The seminars often begin with a free introductory session. These events build excitement by sharing basic tips, but the real goal is to push attendees toward paid workshops. Prices for these courses range from $500 to a staggering $45,000. Critics argue these sessions are more about sales tactics than financial education, with trainers pressuring attendees to increase their credit limits on the spot to afford the next tier. Such practices have led to allegations that Kiyosaki's workshops prey on vulnerable individuals. Attendees often leave not with financial independence, but with mounting debt and frustration. Despite Kiyosaki's image as a financial guru, his business track record is riddled with failures. His first company, Rippers, went bankrupt in the late 1970s. Later, his company Rich Global LLC filed for bankruptcy in 2012 after being ordered to pay $24 million to the Learning Annex for unpaid fees. Interestingly, these corporate bankruptcies didn't affect Kiyosaki's personal wealth. By separating his finances from his companies through LLCs, Kiyosaki shielded his fortune, a savvy legal strategy, but one that raises ethical questions. Critics argue these bankruptcies contradict Kiyosaki's teachings. If he truly mastered financial independence, Why couldn't his businesses avoid failure? Kiyosaki's core teachings focus on real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and leveraging debt. While some of his advice, like differentiating assets from liabilities, is widely accepted, other strategies, such as aggressively leveraging debt, can be risky. During the 2008 financial crisis, many who followed his real estate advice suffered severe losses. Supporters praise Kiyosaki for sparking financial awareness and encouraging readers to think beyond traditional careers. However, critics argue his advice lacks nuance and doesn't account for individual circumstances. For example, not everyone has the risk tolerance or financial stability to pursue his recommended strategies. Ultimately, while his books may inspire, they often fall short of providing practical, actionable steps. Kiyosaki frequently makes bold claims about his investments. One of the most notable, that he owns the largest gold mine in America. However, investigations into this statement tell a different story. Public records show the largest gold mine in the US is the Carlin mine in Nevada, owned by the Newmont Corporation. Kiyosaki clarified that his stake is actually in an ex-copper mine with gold reserves, not the largest mine in the country. While his investment is notable, it's far from the scale he suggests. This pattern of exaggeration extends to other ventures. Despite promoting real estate as his primary wealth generator, his early success came from marketing books and seminars, not property investments. Kiyosaki's ties to multi-level marketing, MLM companies like Amway, are another contentious aspect of his career. In his lesser-known book, The Business of the 21st Century, he endorsed network marketing as an accessible path to financial freedom. However, critics argue his endorsement was more about expanding his brand than genuinely supporting MLMs. MLMs often rely on recruitment over product sales, and their promises of wealth rarely materialize for the average participant. By promoting these organizations, Kiyosaki lent credibility to a controversial business model, potentially misleading his audience into unsustainable ventures. The question remains, was Kiyosaki genuinely advocating for MLMs, or was this simply another strategic alliance to grow his empire? Robert Kiyosaki's story is a tale of contradictions. A man who teaches financial independence yet relies on questionable tactics, and an entrepreneur with a history of bankruptcies who still claims mastery of money. Whether you see him as a fraud or a marketing genius, his influence is undeniable. But his methods teach us more about the power of branding than about building wealth. So before you invest in his programs, ask yourself, is this advice practical for your financial reality? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.